This week, our heroes talk about the Challenger Space Shuttle documentary, South Park invades the NFL, and we have a super special rad announcement for you. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Got any astronaut ice cream?
Oh wait, do we gotta do a 3, 2, 1 clap?
We do, because I have to sync the video and audio this time.
Oh my gosh, they get a visual clap?
They get a visual clap. Ready?
Ready?
They get to actually see how good we are at the clap. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Sounds good. Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Yes. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We're good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Blogs.
Jess, I feel like we've done this podcast, well, this is episode 90, so for 90 straight weeks. And this week, we have a new ball to juggle. We have video podcast. So if you're listening to this on your favorite music app, head over to youtube.com/ccmouspodcast, where you could see us doing a video version of the podcast. No, it's not live. I know a lot of you, especially with the game show stuff, are super confused all the time on if this is live. It's crazy. The canned shows will be there, and they'll be asking me questions in the chat. And as you can clearly see that I'm not live because I'm pronouncing everything correctly and all the words are flowing.
I think when you do like premieres on YouTube, because premieres kind of say they're live, I think that a lot of people are still really new to premieres, even though they've been a thing for a really long time. A lot of creators don't use them, so I think it kind of just throws people off sometimes.
Maybe so. But it's not live.
That could be why.
And we're trying this new video thing. It's going to evolve. I feel like we're kind of cramped in here a little bit.
Yeah, I need to like push you. Wait, this way. Push you away.
There's still more room on this screen than sitting on an airplane. So, and don't forget to look at the camera. Don't forget to look at the camera, Dan. Dan, yeah? Don't forget to look at the camera.
I'm like, look down here. Look up there. Look.
So I think this is going to be a new, fun, cool addition to the podcast.
I think it's about time we finally
started working on some video. We're coming to you live from space if you're watching the video version of this. Oh my gosh,
I could have worn my matching hoodie, but I didn't.
I know, huh? This is great, though. I'm super excited. And then we just podcast as usual. And this is also going to be available on the audio portion of it, on the audio side of it as well. And it's all going to go up at the same time. So no more waiting a bunch of days before you get a YouTube video of us on the podcast. We might have a surprise guest from the cat. Mouse is back there jumping on my green screen.
Kira finally laid down, so we might get through this next hour without too much interruption.
Oh my gosh, we better hurry up. Not me. He's jumping on the green screen back there. He's so bad not bad. Okay, none of the cats want to play with him. All he does is give headlocks. He's so good at headlocks, and nobody wants to play with him. Also, the cats still aren't feeling the best. Mooch has recovered a lot though. He's back to his old. He's almost back to his old self. But the other cats just want to be left alone. It's like I said, it's like they have a union job around here. They just chill out. They just act like cats. I do have to exercise the cat, though. You know, I have to run him around with a string and stuff and make him jump around and stuff to tire him out, and that does help. But I can't just go out and take him for a walk like you would take your dogs for a walk.
I mean, when we were camping, you saw Adventure Kitty on the trail.
Adventure Kitty wanted to go home.
No, I think Adventure Kitty didn't want anything to do with my dogs.
That could be it.
I think that's what it is. There's a guy locally in town here that has an Adventure Kitty, and he's got a little harness set up for him, and the cat rides on his shoulder, and he takes him out for walks. And I mean, I feel like at the age Mouse is, you might be able to get him used to that, and he might, make a good adventure cat. I think people are under the assumption that cats don't like to do things, but they like to go outside and explore and do things just as much as dogs do. They really do.
Absolutely. They do. He's still sketched out. Like, Fridays are still a bad day for him when the trash man comes. He's a little sketched out. He's really hyper right now and super food driven and super on. If I dangle the string, it doesn't matter where it is in the house. He's taking a straight line to it. Doesn't matter what he's knocking over or anything. So he might be a little bit out of control. Maybe when he gets a little older and settles down, maybe?
Settles down.
Settles down. Speaking of settling down, how's Kira been?
She's great.
Want a dog?
Yeah, want a dog.
That's the new shirt. We've said that so many times. You want a cat?
Yeah,
you want a dog?
That should be the new merch. Want a dog? Want a dog? I feel like, so of all the pets that I've had, of all the dogs that I've had, Shelby was the worst as a puppy. She was very annoying and destructive, and when we had her, I didn't work from home, so it was kind of really hard to manage her and deal with her and those types of things. With Kira, I work from home, so I'm here all the time, but Jamie and I took her for a WAOK. It rained all day yesterday, all day. So we didn't get to go for our morning walk. We didn't get to go at all. At 9 o'clock last night, it quit. The road was wet. It was dark, because now it gets dark, earlier.
Right.
It was dark, and I said, we have to take her for a walk. So we put their LED collars on. Jamie wore his camping headlamp, and we walked him around the neighborhood last night because she's just... And when we went for a walk, we had the conversation, and we both said the same thing. She is what Shelby was as a puppy. I love her to death, don't get me wrong. But she's testing everything. She's a nightmare. She wants to eat. She ate my shoelaces the other day, my cool shoelaces that I had on my shoes, so I don't have to tie them. She ate those.
Well, now you don't have to use them. She's helping you out.
She's trying. She's good. She's just... She has the same ability that Shelby did, where, like some dogs, when they destroy things, you have to leave them alone for a really long time, and then they get bored, and then they destroy things. Kira and a lot of times Huskies are the opposite. The minute you go, I'm going to go over here for 2 seconds and do something. How did you eat that in 2 seconds?
How did you eat all the napkins?
Yeah, in 2 seconds. I walked from one part of the house to the other and back, and you destroyed something.
It's a skill.
It is a skill. It's a Siberian Husky skill, that is for sure. But like right now, she's sound asleep. Like if I could move the camera, I would. She is literally snuggled head to head with Memphis right now.
Yeah, right now, until you say some magic words, and then she's up and ready to go.
No magic words.
Speaking of magic words, the magic word this week is subscribe. Jess, you and the Snow Dogs are on their way to 1 million subscribers. We're less than 10,000 away.
We're less than 9,000 away.
Next to 9 now. Oh my gosh. If you guys are not already subscribed to Gone to the Snow Dogs, I suggest that you do. Or tell a friend. If somebody loves dogs as much as you do, or Jess, you subscribe, because we're almost to 1 million. It's going to happen. Even if you didn't do anything from here on out, it's going to automatically roll its way to 1 million. I never expected this to happen. Like, it wasn't the reason I started my channel, that's for sure. And I never in a million years thought that it would actually happen. We've been doing this almost 11 years. 2 more months, and 2 more months to the day we're recording this will be 11 years since I started making YouTube videos. That's good. And when you started making videos, there was no plaques. No. There was no milestones, really. Like,
there was no monetization.
Do you remember, like, when one video hit 1 million subscribers, or somebody hit 1 million subscribers, and it was the most crazy thing. Remember when the first YouTube video hit 1 million views, and it was like all over the place, like 1 million. Now 1 million's good.
Yeah.
But like, you're not retiring off of 1 million.
No,
it's interesting how things have ramped up so much in the number games on YouTube. So good job. Good job, Jess.
I think the new 1 million is now 10 million.
It's like
10 million is like the new 1 million.
Right.
What 1 million was years ago.
Yes,
but either way, I'm excited. I'm blown away. I still have absolutely no idea what we're going to do. Yeah. I don't know how we're going to celebrate with COVID and all. It makes everything really weird. So I still have no idea what I'm going to do.
Something will happen. So stay tuned, subscribe, hit that thumbs up button and that bell notification so you don't miss any live upcoming videos. Yes. I guess while we're doing some house cleaning, I have a new food review video that actually went up right this minute as we're recording this. Where Blake and I try to review some spicy chicken nuggets, which this is going to be a thing that we're going to be doing for the next little bit, where we're going to be reviewing stuff and trying stuff. So if you guys have any ideas or suggestions of what you think that we should try, let us know.
And where can they find your channel?
They can find that at youtube.com/rfsdan. I am not anywhere close to the million, but your support is definitely appreciated. You're close to 3,000. That is. It's over 3,000. Well, almost over 3,000.
I had a couple people that I was talking to about that you're going to change your content and start doing something different. And a couple people were like, well, what's going to happen to Dantix? And I'm like, no, Dantix is sticking around. Like, that's still going to be part of the channel. Right. But yes. The game show itself will stay, because that's fun. I do have fun doing that. Yes. Yeah, it's just time to try some new stuff. Yeah, just a weekday content is going to be a little bit different than just trivia stuff. It'll be just more of me being me. Maybe some vlogs some days. Like I said, we'll go on some trips. We'll unbox some stuff. We'll have fun reviews. I got that new Mountain Dew. Oh my gosh, I'm not a Mountain Dew fan. I got that new Mountain Dew Voodoo that we'll be trying next week. I think that'll be fun. You have one of those cans as well, right? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Did you buy the cans or the
I
bottles?
just got the bottle because I think the cans only come in 12 packs.
Yeah, I have the bottles as well.
I got the bottle, which bottles are the worst way to consume pop.
I agree. 100%.
Cold cans, cans, everybody. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, I have all these notes here for stuff to talk about. Camping vlogs, but now we're talking about us some more. Jess, those camping vlogs are kicking butt. I'm speaking for pretty much everybody. I love that editing that you've been doing.
Yeah?
Yeah, the editing's been great. Somebody actually messaged me and asked if I edited those videos.
Really?
Uh-huh. They're like, did you edit the video?
That's great.
And I was like,
So people definitely have seen that it's a different style. That's good.
It's
and
fun.
I've noticed that in the comments. I've noticed people commenting and kind of saying, that they love that I'm throwing in voiceovers. I found that, and this happens a lot when I vlog, but it happens more when there's other people around, like when you're around or when Greg's around. I tend to forget. Like, I'll just forget that, hey, we're going here and I should tell people where we're going. So I found when I was going back and editing, when I was watching through everything, the storyline just didn't make sense and stuff didn't make sense. So I thought, well, I have this stuff now. So I just started telling people, here's where we are, and using clips that didn't fit anywhere else but fit in those spots. And I've been having fun making them. So that's great. A good thing.
That's the great thing about being a storyteller. You could tell any way you want.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually, it's also given me like foresight for when we go on like our next trip or our next thing where we're out of the house. It's given me the foresight to make sure that I'm, that I make sure I'm using the GoPro and that I'm getting more, because I like doing like B-roll footage and stuff like that, but sometimes it's too much music and it just doesn't turn out right. But thinking about it in the way I'm doing it now, where, well, I can just talk about what we're doing over top of what I'm showing, but still be showing things without having to think in the moment of what needs to be said, kind of changes the way I look at what I'm doing. So
I like it. I think it's fun and fresh, and they've been great so far. I mean, maybe it's because I'm in it, but a little biased there. But they've been a lot of fun. You guys can check that out at Snow Dog Vlogs.
Yay!
Snow Dog Vlogs. So Jess,
what?
It's the end of the year, which means it's announcements. Do you have a new phone coming out this year?
Oh yeah, Pixel 5 is supposed to be coming out, and they finally got rid of the stupid face unlock feature, and they brought back the thing on the back.
Oh, the little button on the back?
Yeah, the little, which I've had this phone activated for what, feature. Like 8 months or something?
I'm not going to let you only show your phone without me showing mine.
I still touch the phone like I'm going to unlock it.
Do you?
I still pick it up and put my finger there and go, God dang it, I got to stare at the stupid phone, and then it might unlock. So even though I've only been using this one for like 6 or 7 months, it's really going to be... I don't buy shoes. I buy technology. I have the new GoPro.
Here's the problem.
I don't buy shoes.
You do have the new GoPro.
I do.
Which we'll review it. I think we'll review it in a couple weeks after you used it. Maybe we'll talk about the GoPro.
That's a good idea.
I don't even think it's in stores yet.
I have no idea, but I have it. It's right here.
Here's the thing: if you get a new phone, Jess, and the GoPro, you were good about it. You took it out of the box right away. You started using it. How long did your last phone sit in the box before you set it up?
I bought it in
October.
November.
November. You bought it in November.
Yeah,
right
it was
after I left.
Yeah, I bought it after you left.
Right.
Or maybe it was like December, because it went on sale for something. Maybe it was like Black Friday or something. So I bought it because it was $200 off what the original price was. And I'm like, I'm going to buy it because it's cheaper now. And then it sat until March. And I only know that because I'm now editing my photos until March. So it was it was March 12th when I activated the phone.
Yep. So you'll run out and grab this one and it'll sit for 6 months. So the iPhone's coming out too, and
if I can get all my photos off of it before then.
Hopefully. That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah, so there'll be a new iPhone, and then there's other new things that come out. Rain, you guys know the company Rain? I don't know who owns Rain. I don't know if Rain owns Rain.
I think Amazon does now, don't they?
Does Amazon own Rain? Okay.
I think so. Because Amazon tried doing their own thing when it came to like camera security stuff, like Nest, because Google owns Nest. And then I believe Amazon bought Ring.
Who owns Ring?
Or partnered
Ring's
with
parent
them.
organization is Amazon.com.
Yeah, I was right.
Is Ring owned by Amazon? Yes. Shark Tank rejected Ring. Oh,
yes,
Mark
I do
Cuban
remember that.
Made a boo-boo. So check this out. I can punch this up on the web. Like I said, if you guys are just listening to this audio-wise, you can go to youtube.com/ccmouspodcast and see the visuals. Ring has this new indoor security drone. It's indoors. It's not even outdoors. So the concept is you get a nice 1080 view over the shoulder of the thief. It's almost like third person, like Gears of War or one of those games, where they're robbing your house and stuff like that. It's going to fly around your house, which my cats are just going to get.
So that's my first thought on it is like, what happens when the dog decides, because yes, it would be your cats, but 100% it would be Kira.
Right.
Jumping off, like all I can see, it would make for a great YouTube video. Dog destroys miniature drone or cat destroys miniature. We're going to see those videos.
Yes. Helper monkey destroys drone in a house. Yep. I can see it now. But this is interesting because Rain's always wanted me to buy 10 or 12 cameras to put all over my place. And now you can fly a little drone. You can do it remotely too to see what's going on, which I don't know. Like that's odd. Either somebody's breaking in or not. Do I really need this thing to fly around? Which I'm all about. Right. You know me. I'm all about technology. I'm all about the implants. I'm all about pushing the future. I think that this is kind of odd, and I don't know if it's going to take off.
I have a little robot Riley, and then I have another little dog toy thing that has a camera on it that you can drive around on the floor. The one dog toy thing, it's like a treat dispenser, but it also has a camera in it. I don't have it hooked up yet. But I liked the idea of that because at least it's like on the floor. I feel like even if the dog goes after it, they're not going to hurt themselves or destroy my house trying to go after it. Yeah. Where this just, I don't know. Like you said, I love the idea of it, but I can't do it.
And what happens? Okay, so here you go. I'm going to break into your house, and I get into your house, and now it's like a game of like Rainbow Six Siege. I have drones. I need EMPs now to start robbing people's houses.
It needs to shoot little lasers or tasers out of it.
Or even just Nerf darts. Like, hey, I'm here. Just little Nerf things. Boom, 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 boom.
That would be funny.
But now I got to swat that out of the sky. I have the dogs chewing on my ankles. I'm not sure what this is for. I guess if it monitors your home, it says it monitors your home. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if it's like $100, I'm about it. But if this is like $400 or $500, I don't know. You can set it up on paths to go check out your house. I'm not really sure what that's for. I don't know if I see you, because you check when you're gone. You'll check the cameras a lot.
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't know if you're really gonna send a drone around the house.
Yeah, I don't know, because mine are all set up with like motion sensor stuff. So like when we leave and there's motion, I get alerts that there's motion. So
see, I would like to see some sort of like practical video on it, which there could be. I just haven't seen one. So I only knew about this drone. Blake was showing this to me. I scrolled down on this page here, and they have this other little like smart security camera for your car. So now you can like see what's going on in your car live.
That's kind of cool.
Away. That's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay too. So you can get a nice selfie of the dude that's trying to hotwire your car.
Does it work as a dash cam too, though?
I don't know. It's this clunky little thing here, so it looks like you can do that. It's got impact detection. Ooh, it's got like a GPS in there. It'll tell you when you're going and coming and stuff like that. Which most of our phones do that now.
Right.
But if it's this is a third-party device, and it's not the tiniest thing, but I think that's pretty cool.
Right. I think that's somebody could just reach in and grab it.
They're definitely leveling up their security game, because where do you go? I mean, they hit a home run when they did the doorbell one. The doorbell one's great, whether you see somebody that shouldn't be there or the UPS guy dancing, for the viral video. And this one will actually, the software will actually integrate with the Tesla too, so you can see all the Tesla cameras off the side camera, off the back camera, which I think is kind of fascinating.
I think it's interesting how when Amazon comes out with new products, even like, Ring products and all their Amazon Echoes and stuff like that, I think it's really interesting that instead of like coming out and being like, oh, here's what we made and it's new and we've tested it, they kind of go, here's 27 things. Something might hit. Have you noticed that? Like when they did the Amazon thing the other day, they're like, here's all the new stuff. How much of this stuff do you think will actually be there next year?
And they'll be stoked.
Yep, I find it interesting that Amazon does that.
I didn't You sent me the link to the Amazon stuff where I just saw this big old like microphone poof. I didn't click. I forgot. I didn't click on those. I didn't see what Amazon was putting out.
There's just a whole bunch of random stuff. Some of it sounds really cool. Some of it probably is too early for technology, and some of it just might not work. But
right. Well, your house is completely covered in Amazon Alexas.
Yes. You're in my ear. She can't hear you.
They're in every room.
Yes.
They're in every room. Hey, Alexa, turn off all the lights. There you go.
The other day, what did I say? Oh, I said, hey, you over there, I'm home. Because Jamie was downstairs and I had brought lunch home and I just didn't feel like yelling downstairs. So when you say announce that and then you say something, she announces it. Well, if you say like good night, she can't hear me if I say unless I say her name. If you say, announce, I'm going to bed, or good night, she plays like this little good night tune and then what you said. So yesterday when I said I'm home, she played like these horns and trumpets and it said, right. I'm home. And I went, I didn't know she did that.
It's like a grand entrance. It's like a grand entrance. It's great. I said this before, but when I was there a few months ago, I heard you in your room. I was in my room. I heard you in the back room turning off lights and stuff. And then I can turn off your lights from where I was sleeping. And that was great. That was great. Forever when I come now, I will always toggle your lights when you're sleeping just because I have that. That's the abuse of technology. This is the side effects. But what if someone tries to turn on the light in the other room? So I'm okay. I love the technology. I'm super stoked that all this stuff's coming out, but I don't know if I can put a drone in my house. If it's cheap enough, we're getting one because I would love to see if the cats, try to attack it out of the air. Mouse will for sure.
Yeah. It would be interesting. Sure. I don't know if I'm going for that one, but I mean, you know how it is.
I know. If it's cool, you'll get it. But we'll see what the videos say. We'll see what the videos say.
That's what we'll have to do.
Yes. So Jess, as September ends, which September went by fast, but I spent more of the month of September at your house than at my house.
Yeah, you did.
September ends and October starts. Two things happen. All the PSL girls come out of the woodwork.
True.
It's pumpkin spice latte season. And it's your favorite holiday in the whole world. It is Halloween.
It's coming.
It is Halloween time. So I think during the month of October, we're going to be checking out some fun, cool Halloween products.
I'm game for that.
To kick this off, Jess, wrong punch up. To kick this off, somebody tagged me in this crazy ad that Home Depot's doing.
Oh, God.
And I had to look at it 2 or 3 times because I don't know if I believed it or not or thought that this was true. But it's 2020. Anything goes. Anything goes. So check this out. It is a 12-foot giant-sized skeleton with life eyes. What is life eyes mean?
I was going to say, what is life eyes?
What is life eyes?
They plucked the eyes out of something and popped them in there.
This thing is $299.
Good Lord.
It's plastic. It's 12 feet tall. There's photos of it in people's yards. That's not even a real photo. That is actually a fake photo of it. I can't play the video really because I don't want to get in trouble for playing the video. But this thing is
a 360-degree turnaround thing.
Is there? Oh, let's see what the skeleton looks like. Yep, those are all the bones. Those are all the bones. This thing looks massive. I've seen people putting it together. There's a video here which you guys can play on your own of people putting it together. We're looking at it. We're looking at it on the screen right now at youtube.com/ccmouspodcast if you want to check it out. Because if you don't know what a skeleton looks like with life eyes. But $299. Everybody at home, let me know if you have this at home. Just what would the price point be for you to put this up in your yard?
See, it's not okay. This is going to sound really bad. It's not the price point of what it costs because I would buy it even at that price point. It's the thought process that goes on after of where the heck do I keep it for the other 11 months out of the year?
You just put it under your bed, it's bed bones.
Yeah, you would think so.
Stick them under the bed.
There was this really cool, I don't even know what it was. I call it a nightmare, but it was a horse with these red glowing eyes, and it had what the Ichabod Crane guy was what it looked like. The Headless Horseman. Right. It looked like the Headless Horseman on it. And it was huge. The horse was 9 feet tall, and it was animatronic, and it moved, and its eyes lit up, and it played all these noises, and I wanted it so bad. And they had it at our Home Depot when I wanted it, and I went, I should buy it. I said, where the heck do you put it? Where the heck would where am I going to put this the rest of the year?
Well, so I end up less storage than the skeleton since it's got no head.
True. I am going to have to go to Home Depot and see if our Home Depot has one.
You have to.
Just to see it.
There's a practical picture of it in the store on the screen, and they're having to use that like zoom out wide lens just to capture it all. But yeah, you should check it out definitely at your Home Depot, because in your town they would have them in stock. My town they're probably already done and gone.
Yeah,
well, I don't know whose idea this was for $300. Oh
I mean,
my gosh.
it's definitely a cool. I could see it. I could see standing him up between the two trees, because I could see it like with that, and then how we have like the Halloween light show. So I could see pointing like, floodlights up at it, so he would light up different colors, and I could see it. I could see what I would do with it, but
yeah, if you could find a way for it to move, or its jaw to at least light up when you guys have your thing. When you guys,
I'm 100% sure Jamie could figure that out with servos
sure.
and other things. Jamie could definitely make that happen.
Here's what scares me: they're out of stock on them on the Home Depot site, but on eBay they're $1,500 right now.
Holy cow! So
I don't know if anybody's buying. I don't know if anybody's bidding or buying on. But when I looked up just photos to find more photos of it, $1,500. Oh hey, wait, free shipping.
Oh yeah, well it's totally worth it.
Gotta have that free shipping. So I don't know. Maybe what if we all chipped in and just purchased a piece? Like I'll buy the elbow bone. I can. What bone can I afford? I can't afford the leg bones. Those are too expensive. I could do an elbow bone.
I mean, still gotta have a place to store it. I guess I could build a giant coffin, bury it in the yard for the other.
That would be the biggest coffin ever. That would be the biggest coffin ever.
That would be pretty crazy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So yeah, $1,500 on eBay right now, free shipping, or $299 if you can find it in stock at Home Depot. And like I said, let us know if you've seen this. If you have to, will you take a picture with it?
If I see one, I will.
I want to see you try to stand in front of it with a picture, because you're like short.
So less than half its size.
It would look even more. It would look even more massive. It would. Right. It would. So I thought that was something cool. That's a cool thing about doing these video podcasts now, that we can kind of bring up some sort of visuals here and there.
Yeah.
I think that is really neat. Speaking of other cool things that happen, I am not really a football fan. I know about sports.
Yay, sports.
But something pretty cool happened this week in Colorado for the Denver Bronco game. In the audience of the Denver Bronco game, the whole entire town of South Park cutout characters. Now, I didn't see anything if Trey and Matt made this happen, or if the South Park corporation or company made this happen.
Right.
But I think it was great, especially since that show is pretty controversial.
Yeah, I read the articles and I saw it, and somebody pointed out there was a couple people there like, I don't think this person's from South Park. I know most of the articles said it was like the entire town of South Park, but I'm pretty sure it was the entire cast of the show. Like every character that has ever been on the show is more or less what it seems like.
Yes, because when I'm looking here at the pictures here, I can punch this up. When I'm looking here at the pictures and stuff like that, there's people that have been in one scene or stuff like that. And I've also seen the regular cast, but yeah, look, they all have masks on.
That's so cool.
I think that is cool. I don't know whose idea that was at all, but I think that's great. I think that's great. I almost thought that I wanted it to be a cardboard cutout as well. Like, I thought that would be cool. It was, I think one of them was like, I think one of the places for baseball, they were like $100. I need to find out. Maybe we got to pull our money together and we need like a big mohawk dude out in the audience. Here's another picture of it over here on the side. And there's a lot of people. There's probably like 100 seats here.
Yeah, it just looks so cool. That the other picture on the other side too, empty seats at Denver Broncos football game. That's a cool photo. Look at Chef. Remember Chef?
Chef. Yeah, remember when he was alive?
Look at how many there is. Oh, I didn't even realize it. They have the town behind it too.
They do. Look how good it is. And that town. I don't know if the town that looks like maybe a big screen back there.
Yeah,
but definitely all the characters of South Park in here. I think that's really, really cool.
That's fun.
Yes, I think it's fun. I don't know how long it's going to last for. I don't know what it cost them. It's a great commercial. It's great promotion. We're talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Afterwards, they could definitely auction off or sell these characters.
I think tomorrow night is the return of South Park, and it's a pandemic special, and I think it's supposed to be...
is it?
Yeah, I think that's part of what this was a promotion for the pandemic special.
I didn't know, so that's working.
Yeah, so I think that if you look it up, I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday night. I thought it was this week on Comedy Central. South Park returns, and instead of their half-an-hour episode, I think they're doing a pandemic special episode. So
tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. on Comedy Central, season 24. Oh my gosh, episode 1. You
when we're doing video, you have to remember to move your little mousey thing.
Oh, yeah. I think there might be a checkbox somewhere where I can
make it invisible.
Show mouse curse. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
It'll evolve. Otherwise, here I can just put it on your nose. No, don't chop my cursor. We won't be able to select anything. 24 seasons of South Park. Do you remember when it first came out?
I do.
What was your first taste of South Park?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. We watched so much, and we didn't have cable TV, so somebody would always record it on VHS, and then we would have a few episodes to watch. Or Mom and Dad would record it, and we would go watch it out there. I loved it. Rainforest Schmain Forest is probably one of my favorite episodes.
I didn't get to South Park until the very first episode. When it premiered, we went over to my friend's house. We were so stoked. We were so in disbelief that television could get away with this. And it was whatever. It was Cartman gets a butt probe. It was called something else. It was that one. Come on, guys.
With the cows.
Yes. And I loved the animations changed over the years, but I loved how the original cutouts were for South Park, the little drop shadows and stuff like that. I was not around before it was cool to like South Park, before they got their Comedy Central show where they had
Jesus versus Frosty.
Jesus versus Santa.
There was Jesus versus Santa, and there was Jesus versus Frosty.
And I think there was the meaning of Christmas one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I wasn't around for the original stuff that they made and stuff like that. I came around for episode 1 of South Park, and like I said, it was so crazy. Pig and elephant DNA just won't splice. Like so much good stuff. Then for a while there throughout the seasons, it got kind of foul, and then it got smart again.
Yeah.
Where South Park reminds me of old Eminem. Eminem in the 90s was so on the button with what was going on in the world in his songs that you were like, wow, this is undeniable. South Park does the same thing where like a tragedy happens because they get 7 days to make these episodes. I know season 24 episode 1 comes out tomorrow. They are working on it right now. Episode 2 not even filmed yet, not even done yet. Nothing.
No idea.
So no idea. And if you guys haven't seen that documentary we've talked about, 7 Days Till Air, you guys have to see how they make these episodes of South Park. But that's what keeps them fresh. They're talking about stuff that just happened the week after it. And I love the satire on it. So it's become smart again. Sometimes I get weird. I didn't like PC Principal. I didn't like that.
I wasn't a fan of PC Principal. There was a couple of seasons where, I watched through it and it was just...
I didn't get it. Like maybe I missed something.
It wasn't the South Park that it used to be, but I think that was at the point where they were actually trying to get the show canceled. They wanted to quit for a while, and they had done interviews where they kind of said that we don't really want to do this anymore. And then I think because they tried so hard to get canceled and then they couldn't get canceled, I think that kind of turned things around again, and now they're like, oh well, let's run with all this new stuff. So it's
right.
I'm excited to see South Park tomorrow. I'm excited to see what they do. I am
too. I mean, Integrity Farms was great the last season, so they're good. You got to take the good with the bad, but there's a lot of good. There's a lot of wit there. So yeah, I thought that was great. So go South Park. You're gonna have to remind me tomorrow. I'm gonna forget to watch the South Park because I'm very curious.
You can remember like this. We're supposed to be going live on Wednesday nights, but we're no longer going live on Wednesday nights because now the podcast goes up on Wednesday in a video version.
Ooh, segue to program change. Yes, correct.
So instead of going live tomorrow night, everybody should watch South Park so we can recap on that. We're going to be going live. What did we decide? Thursday nights.
We'll try Thursdays. Thursdays is going to be our new live day at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern. So a little bit earlier because I'm not melting anymore. Sure, it's going to be like in the 90s today, like the high 90s. But I'm not sitting here melting and miserable at my house anymore. So we can start to move these times up a little bit more so you're not listening to us in your ears at midnight.
Right.
Yes. But we are going to keep the live streams going because those are a lot of fun. Since we're doing video... since we're doing the video / audio podcast at the same time, the live shows are honestly just to interact with you guys.
Yeah.
Kind
of for you guys to bring your questions and bring like topics that we can maybe talk about and things like that. Just, for that hour to hour and a half that we go live. It's more, like you said, it's more or less just to really have that interaction with you guys that we really like, and I've kind of missed because I think we're on 3 weeks now where we haven't done one because things just haven't worked out.
We tried, and if it gets closer to the time we haven't announced it, people start messaging me. Like last week, we were gonna live stream, but Mooch had to go back to the doctor.
Yep.
So I had to take him back to the vet, and so then there was no live stream from that, and then it just compiles. We were gone the week before. I was in Michigan.
Yep.
And the one night we were laying there, I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I got a beard. And a beer, and I'm laying on that big, huge, comfortable beanbag that you have by your window, and I'm like, and we're like, just forget it. We're like, just forget it. This is our time.
Yeah, we're like, we're allowed a break. Yes. We've literally worked this whole time. Now we need a break.
So as much as you miss us, we miss you as well.
Yeah, we do. Well. So, I do miss doing that. So I will be glad to get back to doing that.
So new lifetimes tentatively. If they can move Young Sheldon from Mondays to Wednesdays, they can move. We can move from Wednesdays to Thursdays. I didn't watch that show. You
didn't watch it at all?
Okay, hold on. There was something that after it ended, a show that I would watch came on after it, so I'd catch the last 5 minutes of it, and I was so against it when they announced it, and I was so irritated by it, and then I chuckled at it a few times, and Crystal's like, oh, you laughed at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I laughed at it. So I don't know, the times that it was on, it was kind of smart and witty. They should just record 10 seasons of it right away, because there's something about kids growing up on set that loses their charm. Modern Family, was it 2.5 Men? Yeah. Malcolm in the Middle. They were all cute until they grew up, and then their one-liners and charms just don't work anymore. So they better record a bunch of Young Sheldons before he grows up. And it's weird.
I think that works to a point for some shows at the same time, because I feel like it gives them an out. Like, we can't keep doing this because they grew up.
But they do. It's America. They run into the ground. Ask The Office. That went on like 8 too many seasons. Or How I Met Your Mother. You never watched that one, right?
No, I haven't watched that.
Oh, man. PU. It's like one of those ones where you dip in for a few seasons and you dip right back out.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. So anyway, we'll be live on Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 Eastern. Come ask us questions. Come hang out. Come tell us what you think about the new South Park.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So yesterday we were gonna record all this stuff yesterday. We kind of got it set up. We were seeing if there's different programs and stuff that we could use to make this video, which there are out there. But we decided to make it manually. That was me that just switched to that one shot. That was me. I don't have a crew or nothing. So we got it all set up yesterday. We kind of ran out of time, and we were talking about topics. And you sent me on a mission, a space mission. We'll call it a space mission to watch the Challenger documentary. It was a four-part series.
Yes.
On the Space Shuttle Challenger, which exploded in 1986, I believe, January of 86. So yep. It was called Challenger Goes Boom. I don't know what it was called.
Challenger Goes Boom.
I'm sure it probably wasn't called that, but it was called something like that.
I already forgot what it was called. I was sitting here and I'm trying to get caught up on photo editing because I like to categorize my photos and I like to make sure that I have things in folders and where they're supposed to be, and I'm to March. So I was sitting here editing photos and I'm like, I'm going to turn on the TV and watch something, and I turned on Netflix and I saw it there and I'm like, I've been wanting to watch it. I'm just going to sit here and work and watch it. 4 hours later, I watched the whole thing and I got no work done.
It was really, really good.
It was really good. It was sad, and it still ends exactly the same way as everybody remembers. Like, that didn't change.
Right. Challenger, The Final Flight.
That's what it's called. Okay.
That's what it was called. That's what it
was.
Yes. So I had not watched it yet. Crystal and Blake both watched it when I was in Michigan. Actually, Blake was just watching, just the other day. Crystal watched it when I was in Michigan. So I watched it yesterday. That was my homework to go and watch it, and I have lots of thoughts. First of all, it's really good. It's really watchable. Yeah. You are sucked in from the moment, and they did a good job at the end of episode 1.
Yeah.
With those magic words of, we knew something was going to go wrong. You're like, no, what? What? No way. I thought it was an accident. Behind every accident, there's the truth. So
yep.
I thought it was amazing. So we didn't podcast so I could go watch it, which I did last night. I watched it last night before bed. I got sucked into it. Like I said, it's 4 parts, about 3.5 hours total after you're done watching it. And I did write some notes down. It happened in January of 86. So I was still 78,
I was 6, so you had to be older than 5.
I was 6, not turned 7 yet. Are we both? No, how could that be? 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, and then 86. Okay, so I was 7, gonna turn 8.
There you go.
I was 7, gonna turn 8. And so it was shown in a lot of schools and stuff like that when I was a kid. I did not see it in school. The first flashes I have of the Challenger was when my parents would go to church, I would have to go to like this like other room with all the kids and stuff.
Right.
And it was also a classroom. So on the wall, there was a newspaper, and the newspaper had a full stream shot of it, and you know, the explosion, that famous photo you see with one cloud with the 2 rockets up there, and it was like spread out, like, you know how John Carl was on the front page of the paper?
Yeah,
it was like that. It was a shot like that, and I was just going like, whoa, that's crazy, and it just had happened that week, just like 3 or 4 days before that. So I stared at it and looked. I hadn't seen the footage. I didn't watch it in class like a lot of people did.
I did.
It wasn't until later, and I wasn't even living here in Lancaster where the stuff goes down at, and we'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. I was still living down in Garden Grove, like Long Beach area down there. So it was still talked about, but I didn't see it. What was your take on it when you were a kid?
I saw it. We saw it in school, and
really?
I
like live on the TV.
Yeah. Yep. On one of them old box TVs that they wheel in on the thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh, with the VHS and cassette
I
player.
can't remember if we were all in the gym, because I went to a Catholic school, but it was very small, the school I went to in Detroit. So like we probably could all fit in there, and it'd be equivalent to one classroom. But I remember watching it because I remember the teacher saying, I think it exploded. Because we didn't know what was going on. Like, I was 6. I think I was in kindergarten or first grade. I don't know. It's probably kindergarten. But I remember the teacher saying it exploded. That was what I remember the most. Like, I was really young. But I remember seeing it. I remember everybody being really quiet and not knowing what was going on. And, you know, I'd never seen that before. I had no idea what it was supposed to look like. So, yeah, it was, that's all I really remember from that. You know, I remember people talking about it, and then of course throughout the years I remember learning more about it, but that's all I really remember from it happening.
Well, according to a lot of people, they did not know what was going on, because they were still going like, oh, it's doing something, and no, you could tell right away it was bad news. So I'll give you a little recap. I know we're not being spoilery on this. I mean, this happened, you know, in the 80s.
Right.
You get what you pay for, people. This is a good lesson. This is what I took away from it. You get what you pay for. Spend that extra dollar, get that upgrade, put new O-rings every time. Why weren't they replacing O-rings every single time on this thing? Yeah. The O-rings are what failed. Yep. The plume came out. The plume of smoke came out.
Yeah, the plume, not the fire.
So it was one of those things where it was negligence that caused it. It was negligence, people being, what's it called, proud. Yep. And a deadline that I still to this day don't understand why they had to meet all these deadlines to get so many spaceships up in space so they can have some sort of number on paper for who knows what it was. Were we just shoving it in the Russians' faces or what?
I think it had to do with that, but I think it also had to do with funding. I think they were worried that people were going to stop funding them if they didn't, because people found space kind of boring after we landed on the moon. It was like, we landed on the moon, and then space got boring. Not that it was boring, but not enough people were interested in it anymore. So they had to do something to make it more interesting. And I think this was part of what they did to make it more interesting. So they wanted people to give them money. They wanted more money from wherever they were getting it from. And I think that was why they were so adamant on getting so many rockets up or space shuttles up into space and how many times they could launch and things like that.
This is one time where you gotta blow that whistle. And that guy's face, there's this one guy just like, I knew. And he talked about it for days and weeks and with his family, and he had to send that facsimile that said everything was okay for them to go up, even though he knew that it wasn't okay. Yep. Dude, blood's on your hands too, bro. Yeah. Blood's on your hands too.
And then that other guy that was like, I would still make the same decision today. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. That's a lot. That guy, that is a lot of people that I had to deal with when I worked at NASA. That guy, there was 100 of that guys that worked there. They're so proud. They're not going to listen to anything. They are set in their ways. I went up. Okay. So, real quick, I used to work at NASA. I worked here at NASA, and you see some of the shots in the very beginning of the first episode. You'll see everybody parked on the dry lake bed. You can't get out on that dry lake bed these days. I would, if I ran, because I could run out of my office to the dry lake bed in 100 yards. My office was right there. There's even a photo of building 4800 of the actual office that I worked in. It was the 80s. They had everybody out there on that dry lake bed camping like it was Burning Man. And they were cheering. Even the astronaut guy that was flying back in, he's like, yeah, everybody was out there partying. He was like, oh, I hope they're off the runway when they come back down and land. I went up to the third floor. It's called Mahogany Row. And that same exact building, in those windows, in that building there, I was up there helping an old ex-astronaut work on one of his computers, because apparently after you've gone to space a few times, they give you a desk job. Though that third floor is also where they filmed I Dream of Jeannie. That's where they filmed like the set for Jeannie. You know, you can see right outside the window, you'll see the airplane that's hanging out there, which is in the front of the building in the intro of Jeannie. That's called Mahogany Row. Everything's made of mahogany. Everything's still has built in, I've said this before, built into the cabinets are liquor cabinets. That was their design up there, was a liquor cabinet. It had no liquor in it. But just trying to help this old dude get into like Meeting Maker or something like that. It was not a pleasurable experience. I'm just a peon. I'm just a civilian. I'm just a contractor. Why am I showing this guy who's been up in space the stuff? So yes, there was a lot of stubbornness on there. But wow, human beings blew up that space shuttle because they made poor choices. Yep. Look, when there's icicles on something of mine, I'm not using it. No, there's icicles on the space shuttle. You guys waited 3 more days. Wait another day. Wait another day. So it goes up, it goes boom, and then it's about the investigation, which was really good. So I definitely recommend watching it.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, I mean, I would easily watch it again.
I don't want to say triggery, but like I had tears a bunch.
Yep, me too.
I went through, when I worked at NASA, the space shuttle Columbia blew up.
Yeah.
When I was there, like it exploded. It was coming to land at the base.
Right.
And so it explodes, and then the next day at work, it's chaos. There's news cameras there. I've talked about it before. There's news reporters there. You know, we can't talk to nobody. We have debriefings. People are just uncontrollably crying. There's parts of, so our NASA, there's different NASAs. Our NASA does the flight research stuff. So there was a lot of people that were working on telemetry, on landing telemetry for the space shuttle. I remember that was one of the things, and I can say it now, it's been too many years, that they were working on one of the projects. And just to see them just like, what do we do? I mean, and same with the documentary. There's nothing for them to do no more. There's nothing to work on when the thing that you work on's exploded. Right. And it's not like they just whip up another one real fast.
Yeah, right.
It's not. So it was crazy. There was psychologists there. There was people taking time off. There was buildings that were now empty. There was people there that were just on edge. Oh my gosh, people were so on edge. People were so distraught about it. It was a crazy thing. Like I have my accident investigation book. We sat through days of them going through this and reviewing this, and this is the book they issued to us as employees when we were there.
That's so crazy.
See it here on the screen. So I still have this to this day. I don't have any of the NDAs. I was looking, I thought this was my NDA paper here, but I don't. I think we had to like sign and turn that in. So I went through a lot at the end of the video when it showed a lot of the people and the workers and stuff like that. Like we were still a team. You know, the space shuttle had landed a few months there, and we get to go over there and hang out and touch it, and space smells like burnt toast, and take pictures of the space shuttle, and then they would put it on the back of the airplane and fly it back over to Florida, where they would then again launch it. And they would only land here when it wasn't favorable weather, you know, in Florida at Mission Control. So it was interesting. I sat there a little teary-eyed, reminiscing like with memories of what I went through, even though I wasn't even a part of the space shuttle program.
Right.
In theory, we all were. That's what NASA was for. That space shuttle logo is on everything. Everything. So it was interesting to watch. They only briefly talked about the explosion from the Columbia at the end, which should be a whole nother thing. I knew it was going to crash. We all knew it was going to crash. They all knew it was going to crash. When that piece came off and damaged that tile, which even in this documentary, the tiles, people were having tile issues because it had gone up, it flew 40, 50 times or whatever before it blew up, and it had issues. That thing was flawed and it had tile issues. So when it took off, we watched it on closed circuit NASA TV. When it took off, we're like, that's not good. And then the whole time they were up there, all the scuttle around NASA, I was like, did you see that? That's not good. Replays over and over again. In this investigation book here, there's a CD that goes with it where they recreated it over and over and over again. They try to recreate the piece of it. And I think it was like a styrofoam. It wasn't even like really a heavy object. It just came down and just smacked, and it hurt the integrity of the tile. So it turned into pieces.
Right.
I remember seeing a video or a picture on somebody's computer of them trying to repiece it back together. They were collecting parts because it's scattered from here all the way through like Texas and stuff. There's parts of it everywhere, and they were collecting them. And they collected a lot because they had the outline of it, and they were trying to put parts where it goes.
That's so crazy.
And I thought that was interesting. It was interesting being there. It was interesting. A lot of funding, a lot of coworkers got, like, when I say coworkers, like I would do stuff because I was in IT and stuff like that,
right?
But I would still have to deal with the people that were like the real people there, and you get be friends with them. You're all working, you're all in the same college, you're on the same campus, and just to see some of the people just like they're just gone now. They just don't work there no more. There's no jobs, and it's so crazy. So I thought it was an amazing documentary. I love how we push technology, and that's the thing. Like, we're at the edge of technology.
Right.
On this thing. I'm amazed that when the rocket goes up that everybody just burn up.
Right.
Like, it's so dang hot there. It's so dang hot. So I thought it was cool. I'm glad we waited to talk about this until I watched it.
Me too. Like I said, I thought it was really good, and you're right. I have a feeling the people that made this documentary, depending on how it goes over on Netflix, which I think it's going over really well because I think it's trending on Netflix right now. Maybe they will make the next one, and maybe they will tell the entire story behind the Columbia, which
there's some stuff.
Yeah, and
it's all
maybe
out
they
there,
will.
But it's a story.
Right. And the thing is, as much as we know it because it happened, when we know that it happened. How many people that were born after us have no idea?
Right. Yeah, this is history for everybody else. Like, we watched it happen.
Yeah.
We watched it happen. Some of the things that I watched in the documentary, I didn't agree with. I didn't like how they just kept calling. They called what's her name, Krista?
Yes.
I didn't like how they called her a civilian. She was an astronaut.
Yep.
She was an astronaut. Sorry, she was an astronaut. I do wish they would have spent a little more time on all the other people that were there. They kind of briefly gave you like a 5-minute on everybody else, but it was pretty much about her going up into space and stuff like that, and her on her journey. But I thought it was good. But no, she's an astronaut.
I agree.
She's an astronaut. She went up in space. If you're sitting on the sidelines of a football game and the coach says, "Hey, you get in there," you're a football player. You did it. You're a football player.
You accomplished the task.
Would you do it, Jess? Would you go up in space?
Nope. I like space, but I have no desire to go out there. None.
No, none at all.
I bet you would.
I don't know. I like the idea of it. I also like the idea where they're taking the jets up to where it looks like space and it's dark. They have those going on. I think you can pay a lot of money to go up there. Didn't Lance Bass pay a bunch of money to go up there? Yeah, I would take that trip. Hopping on a rocket like Dr. Strangelove and just blasting off into space. That might be a little much for me. Even when they were talking to them, because the flight got delayed for like 3 days. And oh my gosh, Fate was trying to keep them off the airplane.
It was
they
trying.
Had a computer malfunction. The lock on the door didn't work, and it took them like 3 hours to drill it out because they didn't have the right tools to do it with. Stop. It's telling you not to launch.
Right.
Fate's telling you not to launch.
It tried.
Instead, you decided to launch while there was icicles on the
it's a
space
good idea,
shuttle.
just do it.
But I don't know if I could do it without. Okay, anyway, my point to that was they were asking the people how they were doing. They're like, a little nervous, a little butterflies, and that's it. I'm scared all the time.
Right.
I'm just gonna be scared all the time. I watched, movies that have people in space. What was that Ben Affleck movie? Armageddon. I watched Armageddon.
I'd never watched it.
Oh my gosh.
I never watched it.
That movie's very 90s. If you like space movies with the crew of Ben Affleck, Steve Buscemi, and Bruce Willis, and Liv Tyler, then you're going to love this movie. But they were just so cool and collective. And even the teacher lady, she was so cool and collective. And I still would be nervous.
Yeah, I think I would be terrified.
Yeah, I think I would. A lot of, and they try to treat it a little bit like a PR stunt, which I thought was.
Yes, they did.
She was way more.
They wanted to get people involved in space, and that was how they were doing it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So I say you guys watch it. If you've seen it, let us know in the comments. If you liked it, what you thought about it, what your takeaway was.
I want to know.
I thought it was a very good documentary, and there's tears. There's tears. You can feel the emotion and stuff.
I cried when that lady was talking about her husband and all the things that, they did before he left, and like.
Oh, he had a Valentine's Day card waiting.
I know.
Oh
that was hard. Like I'm like,
that was hard.
He knew. He knew that she knew. They knew something was wrong. Like you just feel it. You just feel it.
Yes. But why, dude? Why didn't you go run to the media? Go run somewhere.
Right.
These O-rings. Why are we not changing 30-cent O-rings every time? I love that the scientist dude takes the O-ring and puts it in cold water and smushes it, and it stays smushed.
Yep.
At the meeting, they're like,
at the congressional hearing.
At the congressional hearing, look, like they were just trying too hard and too proud. They blew it. Yep. We've learned a lot from it.
We did, but then they still, messed up again. And then even that, the Columbia, they said was a known problem.
We knew going up that it was bad news. That there's like. Yep. You can't have, if I'm wearing a fireproof suit and you take scissors and cut a little hole in my fireproof suit, like, I'm going to get burned there.
Yep.
And if I get burned enough, I'm going to turn to dust. And that's what that thing did when it re-entered, when it re-entered the atmosphere. It just broke away. And they knew. But they also, and it's been a long time. I've never watched anything on it. I've never watched specials on it, nothing. Just from my being there at NASA.
Right.
They talked about there was no way to do anything about it. Yeah. What are you going to do? How are you going to get him back home? When I worked there was a project that we were working on underground that looked like a space shuttle. It was aimed like that, and they wanted it to be docked. When I say it looks like a space shuttle, it had like the same tiles on it. It had the same skin on it. Right. And they were going to dock it up at the space station, so if emergencies happened, they could get out. Like R2 and 3PO did. On A New Hope.
Right.
But I do remember, and I could be wrong, that they talked about that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't just go out there and fix it. There's no spare tile. There's like.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I would have stayed on the space station and waited for like my Uber to come or something.
Right. Waited for Elon Musk.
For that car, for Elon Musk's car to come. But I do believe that they knew it was bad news.
Oh yeah, they knew. They knew.
Yes. Well, that
Not
was
that there was anything they could do about it.
Right. Amazing, brave people.
I think and yes,
brave.
It's sad and it's tragic, but at the same time, I feel like it's one of those important things that more people need to learn about. They need to watch it. They need to know, because when you forget things in history, that's when history tends to repeat itself. When you take things and you go, we're just going to not talk about this anymore, that's when that cycle continues. So I always feel like, moments in history, even when they're sad, are important to talk about, and they're important for people to learn, even though they may seem meaningless. Like, why do I need to learn this? Well, you need to learn this because you don't want to be in a situation where this repeats itself.
Exactly. And I think that the astronauts, as tragic as it was, they're brave in death. They know that either way, whether they make it or explode, that they're there to help push whatever's next.
Yes.
Each one of them, in my opinion, it's a proud death.
Yeah.
I felt like that. They were so into what they did and stuff like that, and they so wanted to push the boundaries at all costs.
They died doing what they loved and what they believed in.
Right. And that it's such a, just watch it, please. It's such a good documentary. It is such a good documentary. Well, wow, we're at the end, Jess. An hour in, it looks like that we have actually done our first successful video podcast. Well, we'll see what happens when I hit the stop recording button and sync audios together. But I am proud of us.
Maybe we didn't do it.
Maybe we didn't do it. But I think this is great. I think this is, depending on the feedback, I think this is the new format for the podcast.
I do too. And it'll evolve over time.
It will definitely
it'll
evolve.
Dan will learn how to get rid of his little mouse thing, and
Yes, I know. Oh, it's still there. Oh my gosh, it's still there. That's what drives everybody nuts too. So there
I
you go.
know.
You're
so
welcome.
every time I see it, I'm like, I should say something.
You should say something.
I know, but I don't want to stop the flow of the conversation.
Oh, it's okay. You maybe wiggle your wiggle mouse finger. I'll figure out how to get
that
that off the screen. This is a lot of fun. I managed to stare at the camera the whole time. You're like over here at my periph.
Yeah.
So I managed to do that. Look, I got our one.
No,
shot.
I did not. I did not manage to stare at the camera the whole time. I am going to have to figure that out. I think I may have to bring my camera lower because mine's up higher.
We've been watching other people do it on YouTube, so whatever works, I'm stealing that angle. We'll figure it out. But I think this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. I get some visuals to what we do every week. You get to see us. It's been requested for a long time, so here it is.
It has, and we've kind of been, I don't know if it's been scared or lazy or both. Probably both. Like, one, we didn't really know what we were going to do, and we spent an hour yesterday really figuring it out. We had the basics of everything, and then it was like, can we do this? Do we have to get on the phone and talk on the phone and talk here, record here, see each other here? Like, how do we have to do this? And then...
Which we were able to overcome those hurdles.
Yeah.
We were. Good job on that one. Also, it was summertime. Y'all ain't gonna see me with my shirt off, sweating here. I look like a bad Bert Kreischer, and I am not. So it just felt like the right time. Also, I feel more comfortable with the podcast itself. That's on autopilot now. Now we can introduce another thing. If you guys go back and listen to the first 40-something episodes of our podcast, please don't. It was us trying to figure that out. Now that we got that locked down, and that's just like a non-issue. Then we can add more elements to it. You know, it used to be super like adrenaline rushing and stuff like that. And don't forget to say the right things. And for a while, we tried to make transitions and stuff like that. And then we figured out what our groove is, and we'll figure out what the video groove is as well.
Yeah, I think so. She's still asleep.
All right, let's get out of here while we still can.
We did it.
Yes, all right. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app and now in video form on CC Mouse Podcast on YouTube. Interact with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon at CC Mouse Podcast. Rep our merch at ccmousepodcast.shop. And we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye, everybody.
See, but with video, I can make faces at you when you're trying to do the outro to mess you up.
I know, huh? If I get the green screen to go over far enough, you could probably, like, pinch my nose or something like that.
Hey, guess what?
What, Jess?
We did a thing.
We did a video thing.
We did a new thing.
Yes, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this. Like, I'm going to go edit this right now because I'm so excited to see it put up. Yes. All right. See you guys next week, everybody.
Bye.